45 years ago, there was no place for survivors of domestic violence to go for help. Then, a caring community and dedicated people changed everything. This is our story.
I became CEO at Hubbard House in 2017, and I have to say it was an incredible honor to be chosen for this position, and I really view this position as a sacred trust. So many women have gone before me in this role, and they have done so many phenomenal things to make Hubbard House what it is today. Shirley Webb, she helped start the organization. Rita DeYoung, she helped build the facility we're in now. And Ellen Seiler, as our longest serving CEO, she added continuity. She built our outreach center. She created our foundation so we have stability. Those women and all the other ones are so amazing. And so really, truly an honor to be in this position and to work with everyone that I do.
In the early days of the shelter, it was like the Wild Wild West. We were exposed in terms of where we were and who we were. There were wall-to-wall mattresses on the bedrooms. There was an old hot water heater that wouldn't stay lit. Every time I lit it, I burned off my eyebrows. And it was exciting. It was terrifying in a way, but it was just so worthwhile when you saw the women come in and how much they appreciated it. Everybody knew where it was. The police knew where it was. Everybody. And a lot of times so did the husbands or the spouses or whoever the partners were, including one who, with 6 kids and pregnant, she was at the house when he set the house on fire. And we caught it very quickly, but it was scary. At the end of the second year, we bought a second house, a much bigger house. It was really due to the community support because literally that first year, we stood on street corners with cans that said, "Donate $1 to Hubbard House."
I knew I was where I wanted to be because I had such a passion for Hubbard House. One of my most memorable moments has to be the break-in in January 2nd of 1993. I was awakened by a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. A man had shot his way into the shelter, shooting off any door that was locked, demanding to see his girlfriend. If he couldn't have her, nobody else could. And then as he was coming out of the building, he stopped to talk to the resident assistant. She had been on the phone with 911, and so a police officer was driving by, had a clear shot at him, and shot and killed him right there at our front entry. And so it was one of the most frightening days of my life. I will never forget it. The break-in, it really did help us in creating awareness that we really did need a safer, larger shelter. So we hired someone to do the feasibility study, and the conclusion was, back in 1992, that Hubbard House was not going to be able to raise $4.6 million to build this facility, and that we needed to do more community awareness prior to a successful attempt. And that's exactly what we did. We were so grateful to the community for stepping up and funding this beautiful building.
Some of the systemic changes that I'm really proud of that made things much better for survivors and made it easier to contact survivors was on the criminal side, the Intimate Violence Enhanced Services team, where a victim advocate and a sheriff's officer would sit down every morning and review domestic violence police reports to identify the ones that were most in danger of a homicide. The sheriff's office had agreed to add a lethality assessment to every single police report, so then we could proactively contact that survivor and offer services. I think in Jacksonville, we're able to accomplish collaborations that they're not able to do in other areas for some reason. We just have such a community that works so well together. And once we've successfully done it here, it lets other communities realize that it's possible. And then they're able to go forward and implement it in their communities. On top of that, we opened an outreach center in conjunction with our new thrift store location, and that gave survivors the opportunity to just walk right in and ask for help at any point in time. Besides all the things we did to make it better service-wise for survivors, we were able to expand the emergency shelter. We added another kitchen and another bedroom wing so that we would be able to shelter as many as 116 people at a time. You know, a lot of people find work that they enjoy doing. It's not always you find work that you were meant to do. And this is work I was meant to do. It has really been a blessing to be able to do what I have done over the years.
One of the things that I'm most proud of is our program that provides housing assistance for survivors of domestic violence. It's called HOPE. Housing Opportunities Promote Empowerment. The other one will come as no surprise to anybody, is dealing with the pandemic. Obviously, when the pandemic started, we had to pivot, and I work with an amazing team who helped pivot our organization so that we can continue to meet survivors' needs. The shelter stayed open as well. We didn't close the shelter at all. We instituted guidelines to keep people safe and to give them options during the pandemic. What motivates me to continue this work at the end of the day are survivors. I am honored to be in the presence of survivors. They are the most brave women you will ever run into. What they endure, and then they take that step into a new life, not knowing what's going to come next. It's amazing. I learn from them. I grow from hearing their stories. And really, I'm humbled oftentimes to hear what they have to say. And it's why I'll continue to do this work, and it's why Hubbard House will continue.
I think what I'm proudest of is that this agency not only continued to survive, it thrived. And 45 years later, here we are, Hubbard House, still going strong. To me, that's success.